Aargau Topsport und Tele1 präsentieren die 23. Ausgabe vom Baden Masters vom 17. bis zum 20. August. Zum Saisonauftakt treffen die Baden die besten Schweizer Girler auf die Weltelite. 20 Weltklasse-Teams, Nervenkitzel pur, der Kampf um jeden Millimeter, grosse Emotionen, einfach Girling Weltklasse. Direkt vor der Haustür und am Freitag, 18. August auf Tele1. Das Baden Masters wird präsentiert von Swisslos Sport von Aargau, V-Zug, einem Schweizer Haushaltsgerätehersteller, und Shop mit ihren Profis für Gartenbau, Spenglerei und Flachdach.
Good morning, curling fans. We are here bright and early. At least early, it's Sunday morning here at Baden Masters 2023. We started with 4 groups of 5 teams. Of those 20, the top 8 qualified for quarterfinals last night. There are 4 teams still standing. 3 of them are Scottish, and 2 of them are in our featured semi-final this morning. An intriguing lineup here, 2 teams that will know each other forward and back. Our featured semi-final at Baden Masters 2023, it is Cameron Bryce's team from Scotland against Ross Whyte's team from Scotland. Our other semi-final on the sheet next door. It's the ever-consistent Italians. It's Joel Retornaz playing the final Scottish team in the competition, Team James Craik. Scotland, huge improvement on last year's effort. They've had 4 teams in the competition, all 4 made quarterfinals. Last year, only Ross Whyte's team qualified for quarterfinals, and they got dumped out at that stage. So Scotland's here with a mission this weekend.
Back 8. Carol. Back 8. Carol.
We'll be saying hello to the teams in just a second, but gosh, I think this will be a cagey affair. The Scottish teams not easily able to travel during COVID time, so they more or less just had to play each other all the time at their centre of excellence in Stirling. Both of these teams unbeaten so far in the competition, coming through the round robin 4-0, winning their quarter-final last night. Ross Whyte's team, we had a look at already in the competition. Very efficient, very concentrated. Cameron Bryce's team, they have just quietly been going around demolishing everybody. And I think this will be quite the battle of attrition this morning.
Oh. Yeah, tap it back. Good. Same shot you just played? Yeah.
Good news for Scotland fans is that you are guaranteed at least one Scottish team in the final. And depending on how it goes over on sheet 3, it may be a guaranteed Scottish champion.
Top 4. T-line. Just freeze. Small bump. Small bump. Clean, clean.
Carol.
And you might think, gang, that, oh cool, another Scottish champion at Baden Masters. It's actually, it will be the first Scottish champion of the Baden Masters. A Scottish team has not won this competition in over 20 years. We couldn't find a Scottish team winning this championship in the archive. Big deal for any of these Scottish teams, but of course the mighty Retornaz rink, they also haven't won this competition, so all 4 teams with a point to prove this morning.
This seems like the boys trying to hit the ropes now, Doug. Barrier. Turn.
It is Cameron Bryce's team who start off with last stone in this first end by dint of a superior last shot draw. The teams did that just before this game.
Fire. Weight's good.
Sweet, yep.
Yep.
And Bryce sitting 2 at the moment.
Hard. You gotta go.
Really
Really
gotta
gotta
go.
go. So hold it.
Hard.
So hold it.
Don't let it, keep going. Okay, cool. Good up.
Yeah.
And no double for Ross Whyte's team that time. Both these teams winning in handy style last night. Ross Whyte, their team dumping out Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller, and Cameron Bryce's team, they're chasing Magnus Ramsfjell's team off the ice. That was a thumping win for Bryce's team in that game. Both teams then should be feeling nice and confident this morning. Let's say hello. So, throwing red stones this morning, representing Scotland. 4th and skip is Cameron Bryce. 3rd, Duncan Mingus. 2nd, Luke Carson. Lead thrower, Robin McCall. Throwing yellow stones this morning, also representing Scotland. On the right of your screen, we have 4th and skip, Ross Whyte. 3rd, Robin Bryden. 2nd thrower, Duncan McFadden. Lead thrower, Ewan Kyle. So I think this is really going to be a game of millimeters, possibly even molecules. No weak link in any of those 4 lineups. Each position knows their opposition forward and back. But ooh, a let off for Ross Whyte's team then.
Same way.
Barrier.
Yeah.
That first throw of Duncan Mingus just rolling out, and a bit of a let off for Whyte. Now we can safely go ahead and remove the final red counter.
Clean.
Clean, yep.
I need to remember not to talk about a Scottish counter or a
Clean.
Scottish score, Scottish team, since everybody out there on the ice all representing Scotland today. No trouble for Robin Bryden with that, so looks like our first end going to play out in fairly conservative style. Our featured game last night, it was the legendary Italians we were watching. They were up against the 4th of the Scottish teams, Kyle Waddell's team. And Waddell's team never quite finding their rhythm. It was a strong effort from the Italians. They didn't throw much wrong, so it was they who triumphed. And we had a very nice time in the chat with various questions about stone colours and free guard zone and so on. So if you have any questions burning your brain, let us know and we shall find out for you. And if you're here especially for the quiz, has been the standout activity of the whole weekend.
Clean.
We will be having halftime quiz doing this semi-final.
Yep. Clean. Whoa. Whoa.
First throw of the game for Ross Whyte.
Good.
Nice easy start for him. We shall see Cameron Bryce doing the same thing. Sound of clean, always a nice sound. That typically means you're on target.
Same time. Got for a touch more. Rated 10 on the last one, so don't mind a touch more. Whatever you see, is it?
Ross Whyte, as ever, looking for
Maybe come down at 10.
not the simple option, but the
That was the same as
the most awkward stone placement.
Yeah, I think we can hold it though to sweep it there. Okay.
Not content with simply removing this red, he wants to roll in behind that corner guard, put a little bit of pressure on Bryce's final throw. Final throw at the first end for Ross Whyte of Scotland.
Yep. Go, 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 go. Oh. Clean. Curl.
Yep.
Curl.
Curl. Curl. Curl. Hi, curl.
Certainly got a roll. Is it going to go too far? It is. We can see what Ross Whyte was trying to do, but he has given Cameron Bryce a bit of a free throw. I doubt we shall see Cammy Bryce trying to take 1 point here. He will be more interested in blanking this end and hanging on to last stone, but this is an opportunity. He's not just going to throw this stone away. You can see Robin McCall, the vice skip for this team. And they're just going to have a look at the path of this stone. Just see what it does on that handle. So they can learn something, even from that stone that they know they're throwing through. Fist bumps all round, conservative start. Blank end in the first, in our featured semi-final in Baden Masters. An all-Scottish affair, Cameron Bryce's team against Ross Whyte's team. The score remains 0-0. If you're just joining us, a bit bleary-eyed on a Sunday morning, it is quite early, isn't it? Grab yourself a coffee or tea or an apple juice, slice of toast. Join us for our featured semi-final here at Baden Masters. We started off with 20 teams.
Oh, there right now.
Jonathan.
We had teams from Czech Republic, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Scotland, Switzerland, the USA, and one all-star team of various nationalities.
Hard, 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 hard.
All the Swiss teams out of the competition. The final two Swiss teams, Michael Brunner's team and Yannick Schwaller's team, beaten last night by James Craik's team and Ross Whyte's team respectively. All four of the Scottish teams making the quarter-finals, 100% for them. They'll be delighted. And the only other nation still standing is the redoubtable Italians. And it was the Italians who dumped out the fourth Scottish team, Kyle Waddell's team, in their quarter-final yesterday. Cameron Bryce's team, they beat the Norwegian representatives, Magnus Ramsfjell, and Ross Whyte's team. They were the ones who displaced last year's champions, Yannick Schwaller's team. We are guaranteed then 2 new finalists and a new champion. There has never been a Scottish team won this championship, if you can believe that. That would be a big scalp for all 3 of the Scottish teams, but our beloved Italians, they've never won this tournament either, and gosh, they've been close a few times.
Oh, Ian.
Very nice.
Good.
Blank end in the first then in our featured semi-final. And that means that it's Cameron and Bryce's team throwing red. They still have last stone in this second end. And Whyte's team with that stone just behind tee, that tempts Cammy Bryce into going for a freeze or using that space in front. Especially with this 5-rock rule, we see more interesting tactics, I think we would have to say. We had an interesting interlude last night about the origin of the free guard zone, which was exactly because tactics were getting so boring that hardly anyone wanted to play, never mind watch. But especially with the 5-rock free guard zone, you see this more and more, that the defending team without last stone, they're still going for the centre. But if you get an early mistake from that team,
Wait, stop forward.
stone behind tee or so, then yeah, you quite often see the attacking team trying to get to that all-important area of control in the centre. You see them trying to get there first. And you and Kyle really trying to catch the curl on that stone. He's done a good job. But that yellow just hanging out a little bit. Cameron and Bryce immediately indicating that you can get to the inside of that yellow and just roll about 1 stone width behind the centre. And then all of a sudden, you're lying 2 red stones behind cover. It can pay off, this tactic of racing to the centre first, or sometimes you can end up in a big guddle. That's the technical term. And find your scoring area awfully small and difficult to make more than 1. But Robin McCall here.
Good one in there, and then we can always deal with that.
That's not quite what they wanted, is it?
I think so. May have to be full force, so you can't weld the back then.
Another opportunity to build something slipped for Cammy Bryce's team.
6 feet's good, yeah. Stop forward, Craik. Weight's good. Line's great. Top 4. Line's good. Line's good. Top 4. Yep. Whoa. Now. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Off.
And now Whyte closed that door. And yeah, the
15-5 that
time to bail out a little bit this end. No sense now trying to keep drawing towards the centre. It's Bryce throwing red, they've got last stone. And they need to now start making themselves a bit of a space.
Not this, just now.
Nice throw there. Gets rid of the centre guard and rolls over to offer a nice corner guard. Getting a little bit late in the end and too many yellow stones to use it, but you never know.
Close. Okay, line close for tight. Room. Carl. Whoa. Whoa then. Oh no.
Whyte then just replacing that guard, and I think Robin Bryden's found a really nice spot there. You can see there's a good distance between that guard just thrown by Bryden and the stones in the house. Very makeable for the teams at this level, but good stone placement there from Whyte's team. A bit like that, so it's slightly improved things. Next time it would be a red stone you're promoting, but he didn't quite get a good angle on it, and you do still have 3 yellows cluttering up the 4-foot. Quite some work yet for Bryce's team to dig this end out.
Top one. Just by this. So this kind of goes there. Okay. Seen anything else? I thought we could draw on the out turn, but. Or tap. This is quite a nice spot. Okay. The other thought I was to draw like half round that one. Yeah, I'm just scared you leave it there. They could have plant a triple, but that's fine. I'd love to play that. Yeah. Go for. I think it's doing it pretty similar.
I do find that rather entertaining, how at this level the teams are nervous of leaving someone a triple, because that's realistic apparently. This is not really a concern your club curler typically has.
Line's good to go. Need a full 8 to beat that one. Okay, line's there, high. Close. Okay. Carl. Carl.
And life not getting any easier for Bryce's team.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
But is there a half chance now on that stone? It's slipped just about half a stone further than they want. And Cameron Bryce does seem to think that they can get to that. This is going to be a delicate shot though. I'm not sure how much of a roll you could get from there. Yeah, that's the choice. Do you chase that yellow in now on the clockwise handle, or do you drive that red on the centre line? Do you drive that back into the pack there?
The whole sheet's just a touch straighter and it's just running a bit on this.
There are quite a lot of yellows building up. Luckily for red, it is Cameron Bryce's team with last stone. And I think at this stage of the end, all thought of getting a 2 is probably out the window. Let's just make sure we're not losing points here.
So just from the other end, it looked like you could get around half round on the out turn and still have to count both options as well.
Okay, decisions made. Duncan Mingus being asked to indeed drive that red back into the pack. Got things moving. Super throw from Duncan. So that you can see that's really cheered things up a bit. All three of those yellows behind tee, wide open. And he rolled himself away as well. Ross Whyte's team still in pole position here to put some pressure on Bryce. I'm sure we'll see them just putting something in front of all those yellows again. These big boys make it look straightforward to do that raised takeout, spraying 2 or 3 stones out of the house, but yeah, not straightforward. Although Cameron Bryce is a huge hitter.
I haven't really looked at the Line's good. A little bit early. Don't think it was light. Don't think it was light. Just top 8.
For line.
Line's fine.
Look.
Top 8's great.
Yep, yep. Yep.
Top 8's great.
Right then. Right to my brush. Right to my brush, boys.
Whoa, whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Pretty much there.
Yeah.
You see that stone getting to front of house. Didn't really want that stone short of house. He didn't really want to guard on that because those 3 yellows were already behind tee line. That's precisely where Ross Whyte was aiming for. Harder for Cameron Bryce to sneak around it because it's in that front ring already. And more tempting for Bryce to
Slightly
take a run at that front yellow.
Like I was probably closer to what they were throwing for their draw shot.
Over on sheet 3, it was another blank end in the first end over there. But the mighty Italians picked up 2. They are so efficient with hammer. So they're in their third end. And it's Retornaz leading James Craik's team, also from Scotland, 2-0. So a screamer from Cameron Bryce. Oh, that's a handy one. Gets rid of 2 of the yellows. Look at that, rolls himself in behind cover. If Ross Whyte makes a mistake here, then as if by magic, a 2 might be on the cards. But we haven't seen too many mistakes from Ross Whyte this weekend. Good morning, Tom, in the chat. Tom has been diligently cheering for the Scottish teams, and I think you're going to have to come back every time, Tom, because you seem to be a bit of a lucky mascot for them.
No, I was just looking at them.
Tom asks, who's my pick of the last 4 to win the competition?
I don't think it matters as long as we're not by those.
I don't want to curse anyone. I did say on Thursday evening, I guess, I said my my pick for the finalists would be Ross Whyte and Joel Retornaz. From there, I'm not too sure.
I think I'll almost be quicker here.
But certainly, James Craik's team have absolutely battled their way to get here, and as mentioned, Cameron Bryce's team have been demolishing everybody. All 4 teams out there fully earned their place in this semi-final stage on Sunday morning at Baden Masters.
Line's close. Line's great.
Good morning, Teresa. She asks if there have been any major rule changes for this season.
Can we go here? Line's great. Turn nicely.
To my knowledge, no.
Line's good.
We started playing no tick rule last season, and they played that at World Championships for the first time. And that's clever play from Ross Whyte, neutralising that red. So now even when Cameron Bryce inevitably goes for this double takeout, no chance of 2 points.
15. 15.
Tom thinks Ross Whyte's team, they're going all the way. I do think they have a point to prove, let me say that. As I said, 4 Scottish teams started this competition. All 4 made the quarters. 3 are still in it, and none of them are world champions Bruce Mowatt's team. That speaks volumes for Scotland's programme. That is a nice, easy throw. Well, easy double takeout for Cameron Bryce, but clever play from Ross Whyte, just forcing them to take that 1 point. So after 2 ends then, our score here in our featured semi-final in Baden, it is Cameron Bryce 1, Ross Whyte 0.
We can probably like just minimise the ice for the doors and that's easier for the sweepers that way.
Ross Whyte, he's an Olympic medalist. He was the alternate with Bruce Mowatt's rink last year. Now 2 seasons ago, last season. Ross Whyte was the alternate, so he is an Olympic silver medalist. Cameron Bryce and Robin McCall, they are world silver medalists with their mixed rink. That was just towards end of season last year in Aberdeen. The Scottish rink up against Canada there in the final. And annoyingly for Cameron Bryce's Scottish rink, Jean-Michel Menard, he really won it on his own. The Scottish team hardly put a foot wrong, but Menard, he was on a mission that day. Yeah, plenty of pedigree out there. Ross Whyte's team at this event last year, they were in imperious form. They were the only Scottish team that qualified for quarters last year. Coming through the round robin again, 4-0, but they, a little bit surprisingly, got dumped out in the quarterfinals by HØstmaelingen, the young Norwegians. They also had qualified for Scotland to represent
Tight.
when COVID hit.
Tight.
Lost that opportunity to play on that biggest platform. So yeah, I really think Ross Whyte's team are bursting to show how strong of a contender they can be.
Around the corner. T-line. T-line.
Line's close.
Top 4.
For the first time in the game then, in the third end of
Line's
our
good. Line's good.
semi-final featured at Baden Masters 23, Ross Whyte's team have
Carol.
hammer for the first time in the game.
Carol then. Hard. Hard, Carol. Hard. Hard. Right in, right in, right in. Hard, hard. Hard, hard, hard.
And very classic setup there, but that red just slipping beyond tee. Interesting that Whyte just ignored that and wanted to set up his corner guard and a shot on the wings. Bryce asking second throw Luke Carson to just chase that yellow, try to neutralise it. He's done that beautifully. Just punching that yellow through.
He wasn't very fun there.
We will play 8 ends here in Baden. We will play an extra end if scores are tied. Our 2 losing semi-finalists,
Carol.
they won't be too disappointed. They will pick up a nice prize of 4,500 Swiss francs.
Yep.
That will be a big help for competition expenses for rest of season.
Get up. Get up.
Our quarter-finalists last night, they all take home a prize of 1,500 Swiss francs.
Weight was good, just too much ice.
And for our finalists, the prize money gets really big. The winners will take home 12,000 Swiss francs, and the runners-up 8,000. So we say thank you very much to our sponsors for this event. It's always a very attractive event for the teams. A lot of that to do with the super prize on offer, and a lot because it's just nice to come here in Baden in August. It's been lovely and sunny all weekend. We're all boiling, and I've suspected that's why the boys are taking such a long time for their games, because it's nice and cool in the ice hall.
Just like dead.
Bit of a half shot from Whyte's team, allowed Cameron Bryce to lock up that top of the forefoot control area.
I like dead. No, I think we're still dead here. We want to make sure it goes to the hole.
Dead. Whoa.
Duncan McFadgen
Weight's good.
being asked to move it.
Here, easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Yep. Whoa. Roll that way.
Yes, no clean. Always nice.
Oh boy, nice.
Very clever. Manages to squeak it through that gap.
Nice shot, Doug.
It's Whyte playing yellow with last stone in the third end. So Cameron Bryce's objective for this end, I think fairly similar as Whyte's team for the second end. That is, try to force Whyte to take 1 point. That would mean Bryce has last stone it back again. So they're just trying to set up a couple of reds, avoid a double takeout, force Whyte to take 1. Interesting that Bryce's team seem to favour the swinging hand, so going from the centre line towards the stone, and we see Whyte's team more favouring the straight hand, so starting outside and then curling the stone towards centre. Can depend on the ice or just your own preference.
Did we just draw just now? Don't hate it.
It's up to you, whatever you see.
Get by into it.
Okay.
Top 4?
Yeah. Is there a hair less than that? Mine just a hair less, Ross. Wasn't totally through it. Easy now. Room.
Wide just now.
Stay
Carved
close.
in. Carved in. You want to here? Okay, just gotta go carve.
That stone from Robin Bryden running on too far. That is the risk when you go for the more aggressive stuff. That if you make a mistake, and that is a bit of a mistake from Bryden there, then your opposition has a chance to really punish you for that. Let's see if anyone can get a stone ahead of tee line. Now, if you're here for a quiz, you're in plenty of time. We're only in the third end. Wildly popular halftime quiz will be coming at the end of the fourth end. You will see the QR code popping up in the corner. And halftime trivia. This game, we shall be learning more about Team Brunner. They lost out to James Craik's team last night. Mikael Brunner attempting a huge quadruple takeout with his final throw. A valiant effort, but did not quite manage. And James Craik's team winning their place in the semi-final. They are also in their third end now, playing Joel Retornaz's familiar Italian rink. You can see that on the static cam. Over on sheet 3.
Close.
Whoa.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Yes.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Clean. Curl. Whoa. Curl.
Curl.
Whoa.
So Cameron Bryce's stone just slipping past tee as well, and that gives Robin Bryden a bit of backing now. And finally, we have a stone ahead of tee. But not too bad for Bryce. You can see he's lying second and third. They are behind tee, but he can really try to close down this scoring area now. If you land a stone just where they're tapping, would be quite difficult for Ross Whyte's team throwing yellow. It would be difficult for them to score more than one, and potentially could be possible to even ping that yellow out. So this definitely the right call. Committee meeting happening over on sheet 3. The Italians very communicative. Although for all they do discuss quite a lot of stones, they must get on with it in between, because they're not typically responsible for a slow game, the Italian rink. First throw of the third end for, let's see, red skip, Cameron Bryce, since we have two Scottish skips out there. And this looks just nice. The sweeper's guiding it the whole way. Lovely throw from Cameron Bryce. That red really locked onto that yellow now. Very difficult for Ross Whyte to remove everything.
Might even get that one as well. Not that we need to, but yeah.
Round the beak's good. Mid high. Nose is great.
Looks like he's proposing to drive that red back. Certainly opens everything, but I think you're losing that yellow on the 1 foot as well. Let's see. Big throw from Whyte. I'm sure these guys have all been doing their leg press in the gym over summer. Yeah, you do lose that yellow. But the 4 foot is now open. The bad news is you're line -3.
Triple there.
After all right? Yeah, just floating here.
This is a fun throw. Cameron Bryce saying, well, that double takeout on those yellows is completely open, and then we'll be forcing Whyte to throw against 5. And definitely Whyte will have a shot, but never very nice throwing against 5. The left-hander, Cameron Bryce. And you just have to make sure you've got the correct ice for that slightly different angle. Cameron Bryce already up and on his feet. Doesn't quite get the double though. They are still line 4.
Almost get them all going.
Just about there, yeah.
Solid end from Cammy Bryce's team.
3/4. Even like a thick half, you're probably really close.
Very much forcing the issue with Whyte's team. Is Whyte going for the quadruple? I'd love it if he is.
Yeah, thick half.
This is a very courageous call to try to bring that lone little yellow in the back into play. Good luck, sir. Just play the weight, play the brush.
Up! Oh! 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 Curl! Curl!
Not short of gas.
Oh boy. Good.
Wowzers, he's got it. Look at that. I think he got the other red as well. What a shot that was. I think everyone having breakfast here in the club room, I'm not sure they fully appreciated what a shot that was. I don't think Cameron Bryce saw that one coming. What a shot for two. Nonchalant return to the other end for Whyte, but what a throw that was. And as if by magic, it's a score of 2 for Whyte. Well, that will give them tons of confidence. Was that maybe the wrong idea for Cameron Bryce's final throw? It was so tempting, those yellows, to just
Tight.
take the pair of them out, but
Really aggressive.
he didn't quite make it. Ended up losing 2 out of nowhere with something front of tee. Would that have helped him out more?
Hard. Hard, Rob. You're getting it close, mate. Hard. Keep going. Keep going. If you're third dot, you're really good. Hard, hard, hard. Good suit. Okay.
Phew, so Cameron and Bryce's team need to just steady their nerve a bit. I don't think they expected to have a 2 up on the board against them. But we're still in the first half. Plenty of time left. They're only 1 behind. And who knows, maybe they're less impressed with quintuple
Top
takeouts
4.
than we are
There.
here in the bar.
I think we're there, Dunk. Close. Yep. Top 8. Yep.
Update
Hard
over
line.
on sheet 3.
Weight's
It was a
good.
steal for the
Hard.
Italians.
Line's great.
They're also in
Line's
their 4th
great.
end. And it is
Hard
Joel
then.
Retornaz's rink. They
Hard.
are leading
Hard.
3-0 over James Craik.
Great sweep. Okay, Ian, pretty good. 16-2. 16-2. I thought we were better than that, but
We're trying to get the active cam up and running for maybe this game, maybe later on in the final, hopefully. The final will be at 1:30 European this afternoon. We need to give these boys a bit of a break in between, have some lunch. The food here is always very nice as well. We have a nice dining room next door, and the boys can eat as much as they like. And we know that's always popular with boys.
yeah,
Oh, lovely
that's
setup
pretty
from
good.
both teams.
Before you hit less than way through here.
Bryce going for the corner guard and draw straight in behind. Nice throw there from Robin McCall.
Clean. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. That's a great throw, mate.
So Duncan
Just
Mingus
a touch more.
not quite finding the right line there. Ross saying, I should have given you a touch more. He means he just should have taken a little bit more ice. And that's always important. If your stone doesn't quite work out like that, that's very helpful for Ross Whyte to say to Duncan, no, my fault there. We needed a bit more ice for that shot. You threw it correctly. And not everyone's like that. I think at this level you have to be, but not everyone's like that. Some people never do anything wrong. But he's going to get another crack at it.
You want to touch more weight? Unsure you're killing it this or that weight, but you don't need much more. Think so.
We're in the 4th end of our featured semi-final at Baden Masters 23. We are watching an all-Scottish affair. 4 teams started from Scotland. All 4 made the quarterfinals. 3 out of 4 have made the semi-finals, and we are watching 2 of them. We are approaching halfway, and then it will be time for halftime quiz. He's got it this time, Duncan.
Okay, good throw, mate. Nice throw.
So some yellows starting to build up a bit. But Cameron and Bryce more concerned with keeping the centre clear.
Settle down, you. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it does that. Yeah, you can throw it nice and still curls for you. I like dice. No, it was probably some minimum light. I don't know if you'd have killed it. That was right.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
Fine throw from Luke Carson.
Hi. Yeah.
But that red still open. And that gives Ross Whyte the opportunity now to hit and roll towards the centre. He's happy to keep playing the centre, frustrate Cameron Bryce, force Cameron Bryce to keep clearing up the centre, not allowing him to build any stones on the outside.
Clean. Clean, yep. Whoa. 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 Clean. Clean, yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Go. Go. Whoa.
Careful throw from Robin Bryden, but just popping out the other side. Bryce will be able to see that.
Not too sure. Maybe roll wider here, then he's got a double back.
As mentioned, these teams from Scotland, they weren't really able to travel a lot during and shortly after COVID. So they more or less just played each other all the time for a couple of years. They will know each other's game forward and back. That's a lovely throw from Duncan Mingus there. Does drag play to the centre, but as we said before, you see that more and more often these days, that even the team with last stone, that is a tactic that you see, that they get to the centre first.
Maybe just to push it far enough for July 2. We're not killing it. Yeah, even if you get back 4, it's great. Okay. Gives me something to freeze on.
Krister in the chat. Good morning, Krister.
Back 4.
He's betting on Retornaz, saying they seem to be the best at getting out of difficult situations.
Back 4, back 8, okay. Yep.
Well, as a well-known Retornaz fan, I would love that. They are very good front runners, let's say that, and they rarely get into a pickle. A lot of that is because of their ginormous middle order. Sebastiano and Amos, two huge big boys.
No!
With a huge throw on them.
Hard, Carl. Hard. Right to it, Ian. Right to it. Keep going. Keep going.
And it is the Italians who are currently 3-0 over James Craik. They're also in their fourth end. Chance for Duncan Mingus to do pretty much the same shot again. Robin Bryden didn't quite manage to punch that red out of scoring, out of being shot stone. And that's 2 tidy throws from Duncan Mingus. Red now lying 2. What's popped up in the corner of the screen, gang? The quiz room is open. Go ahead and scan that QR code or join us on the website. Use that PIN number for the game. And at half-time, we shall be getting to know Team Michael Brunner, the Swiss vice-champions. We already know everything there is to know about the teams on the ice, and some things we didn't want to know. Largely to do with socks.
Yep, yep. Whoa! Whoa! Go!
It's okay there. It's okay there.
Quiz rooms open at the conclusion of this fourth end. We'll be getting to know team Michael Brunner and Cameron Bryce with his first throw of this fourth end. He would love to be picking up 2 points at the conclusion. Same idea for Bryce. Just wants to nudge that yellow and sneak in behind cover and really force Ross Whyte to play a peach with his last throw. It's Bryce who has last stone. That works too. My mistake. I think that's exactly what they were aiming for. If that had rolled towards centre, then that would have left space for Ross Whyte to just make a freeze. So I think that was the call, was to hit and roll away from centre. No kind of quintuple takeout on offer here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get another in the second half. A very terse game out there. We have never had a Scottish champion of this competition. All three of these Scottish teams would love to be the first Scottish team to get their name in the archive here.
Close. Clean.
Big throw from Ross Whyte coming.
Go! Try.
Gets the pair, but leaves that yellow open. And indeed, with some very nice shot placement, really precise throwing from Bryce's team. No need for a fancy quintuple to score 2 for him. Should be fairly straightforward to bump this yellow through. Final throw of the first half in this semi-final game. New territory for the three Scottish teams. Familiar territory for the Italians. But none of these teams have won the competition. None of these teams, I think, has Retornaz been in the final? I think once he was in the final. Hasn't won it though. And that is a lovely tidy score of 2 points to Cameron Bryce's team. Super reply to that huge quintuple shot from Ross Whyte in the second end. So big score of 2 on the board in the fourth end. At half-time in our featured semi-final, all Scottish affair. Cameron Bryce's team versus Ross Whyte's team, and it is Bryce who leads 3 points to 2. Let's jump into the quiz room. You have some familiar faces in there. Ross Whyte's in the quiz room. That's an interesting idea. He does seem a very talented man. I wouldn't be surprised if he can do trivia at the same time as winning curling games. Okay, we shall have 4 questions. We are getting to know team Michael Brunner, the Swiss vice champions. Which place is not one of Team Brunner's favourite places to curl? Is it Baden, Oakville, Biel or Aberdeen? They are the local favourites. They are the team from Baden, so, well, even diplomatically speaking, I'd be rather surprised if the answer ends up being Baden. Aberdeen's very cold, isn't it? Although the facility is lovely. 5 seconds left. The answer is, it is Aberdeen. Next, which member of Team Brunner does not drink an espresso before each game? Is it Anthony, Andreas, Michael or Romano? So presumably everyone else does have an espresso before the game. I certainly would not. Coffee makes me genuinely sick. but I have my secret stash of Iron Brew, which some of the Scots teams have been a bit jealous of. Brunner. Is it Romano, Anthony, Andreas, or everyone has a nickname? You know how boys are. I'd be surprised if they don't have some sort of nickname. So it seems like Michael certainly has a nickname. He's not even a choice.
I think dead to nose is fine, because we get to nose, it always goes this way off the back.
5 seconds left to answer. The answer is everyone has a nickname. The follow-up question, of course, what is that? We shall need to find out next time.
Back 4.
How does that affect the scoreboard? Oh, Brunner's number 1 fan is making a rush for the top now. So very close at the top. Michael of Team Brunner has played curling since... complicated. Since Andreas was 5. Since Michael's 6th birthday. Since Romano is 15. Or since before Andreas was born. Golly, that's... You need your brain in this Sunday morning. I think I've certainly played curling since before all 4 of them were born. The right answer. Congratulations, MG. Ross Whyte and Tom runners up there. MG, you get to show off that you were the quizmeister. And Brunner's number 1 fan. You need to study for next time. So thank you everyone for taking part in our hugely popular halftime quiz. Back to the 5th end in our featured semi-final.
Top 12. Top 8's great.
Scotland, Scotland
Tight,
everywhere
top
you
12.
look.
If you can. Tight. Wow.
And we are watching
really wide.
Cameron
Top 12.
Bryce's team
Carl.
playing red, and they're up against Ross Whyte's team throwing yellow. Bryce's team in their quarter-final, they overcame the Norwegian champions, Norwegian representatives Magnus Ramsfjell.
Maybe just need to hold off that early.
Ross Whyte's team.
We didn't touch that for the second half. Do you know what I mean?
Ross Whyte's team overcame Swiss champions Yannick Schwaller's team yesterday evening. They were without Sven Michael, who was at a wedding all day yesterday, so just playing with 3 of them, and maybe that was a bit too much. I'm sure Sven Michael relieved that he didn't have to come chasing back to Baden for 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, though. Our featured game last night was Joe Retornaz against the 4th Scottish team, Kyle Waddell's team. And James Craik's team, they overcame Michael Brunner's team. A real battle on sheet 1 last night with the very last throw. Michael Brunner going for a quadruple, but it wasn't quite as makeable as the one from Ross Whyte. And the win went to James Craik's team.
The one is just tapped. Not you're checking much, like literally just a piece under.
Our quarter-finalists, though, all of them win a prize of 1,500 Swiss francs to put towards their competition and season expenses.
I don't like rolling wide right now. That red on the button's keeping our yellow there.
Our semi-finalists here, they will take home a prize of 4,500 Swiss francs, but I'm sure none of the teams out there thinking of that. They all want to win this competition. Never had a Scottish winner of this competition, or an Italian one. The Italians are also in their 5th end against James Craik, and Craik's team getting one to death at the moment. It was another steal to the Italians, and they're just creeping up the scoreboard. That's 4-0. Joel Retornaz leading James Craik.
Not around this. I thought I had was like maybe here. I suppose they're unlucky to hit me on top. As long as we could check a hair, but then it takes off the angle probably here.
Every stone currently in play. I sometimes say that for comedic effect, but this time it's actually true.
We freeze, are they freezing?
Probably throwing something here.
It is Ross Whyte who has last stone, throwing yellow in this fifth end.
And you've got the top frozen and these two in there.
Magic to 2 out of nowhere with a ridiculous
There, you do this.
quintuple takeout in the second end.
That, but if we roll
Third
away,
end,
it's
sorry.
not great.
No.
I like the freeze.
Yeah. Just try and freeze this yellow dunk.
Speech really nice here.
Good morning, Megan. Or good evening, is it, where you are, I think? Megan's super fan. Always a strong supporter here in the virtual club.
T-line. Well then. Close. Yep. Well. Yep. Hard line.
Ross Whyte going for the freeze.
Hard. Hard. Let it go.
Help.
Hard. Hard. Bounce it hard.
But I think that shot
Soft.
didn't quite have the legs on it. And that's why it overcurled, and that's why it found that guard. And does that now hand advantage to Cameron Bryce? I really thought this was going to be a tense game, actually, yeah. As I said, I think Ross Whyte's team really have a point to prove. They've been sort of waiting for a chance to show what an accomplished team they are. They've had really a bit of bad luck COVID-wise and so on, but Ross Whyte's team, they have been waiting to do something spectacular for a while. But having said that, Cameron Bryce's team, they have just destroyed everyone this weekend. Bryce's team will not be at all intimidated by Ross Whyte. The Scottish teams all trained together at the Centre of Excellence in Stirling. That's a nice idea.
Hello.
Yeah, with that previous throw pulling up short, Ross Whyte now has to clear some space. If he is not going to lose points at this end, never mind making some. But we said that last time in end 3, didn't we? And as if by magic, they put a 2 on the board. But a huge push from Robin Bryden.
Yep.
All that gym work during the summer paying off. What's going here? Just that red at the front. And Bryce will cheerfully keep piling things into the centre on the forefoot from there. Oh, Megan's up late for us, but worth it. I agree, Megan.
Had to shift it back in and just...
James Craik's team, oh, of course, nothing really working for them over there on sheet 3. That's on the static cam. As Christer said earlier, yeah, the Italians, very difficult to get past them. They're great front runners. They're lying a heap of stones again here in this fifth end.
You're like a thick calf's great.
I had a deal with James Craik's team that if they made quarterfinals, I said I would share my secret stash of Iron Brew. So they had their Iron Brew to help them last night overcome Michael Brunner.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
But I don't have enough for this morning.
Whoa. Curl. Yeah.
That's a lovely throw from Robin Bryden. Doesn't that situation look a bit nicer now? But yeah, that red goes straight back onto the pair of those yellows. And Cameron Bryce, just as big of a hitter as Baden or Whyte. You can see the whole of that red. The Italians, they also fell out at the quarter-final stage. Well, fell out, not with each other. They got knocked out the competition at the quarter-final stage last year. That's lovely throw from Cameron Bryce. Really nice stuff. And gets a happy little roll to the edge.
Try my two. Dead.
Sure.
Yeah, Retornaz, they've been in the final before, but they haven't won it. And last year, they also got dumped out at the quarter-final stage. I think I'm being fair when I say the Italians played the better game against Yannick Schwaller's team, and Benoit Schwartz beat them all by himself. He could be very annoying like that, Schwartz.
Try roll this just kind of mid-8 really.
So we're too dead at it.
Hat to dead. Yeah. Win that ball pot.
But playing a very nice game over on sheet 3 at the moment. Retornaz, James Craik's team, having to work ever so hard to build some stones over there. A real tussle we've got here on sheet 2 though. Neither team really stamping authority. Both teams able to throw that huge weight to get themselves out of trouble.
Clean.
We're in the 5th end out of 8. If scores are tied, we will play an extra end.
It's okay.
That's a nice throw from Whyte there. 2 yellows are behind T, but critical was that he wanted to make sure he had 2 yellows in play and hopefully give himself a chance to bring them into play with his final throw.
What do you get, Donkey? Dead, going up that way.
Important then, if Cameron Bryce does not want another magic 2 to spring out of nowhere, important that he neutralises this yellow by rolling up to it with his final throw. Seems happy with it. He does neutralise that yellow. And yeah, I don't see any opportunity for a fancy stone here for Ross Whyte, just accepting that. Oh, look at that, it's the All-Star team. Our All-Star team, as you can see, a lovely patchwork tapestry. We had Johannes Pats of Sweden, our only Swedish representative. Thank you, Johannes, for representing your entire country. We had Stefan Wallstadt, the skip of last year's winning team, representing Norway, and we had Sixten Totzek and Alex Baumann representing Germany. So that is our beautiful hybrid flag, especially for this competition. And we say a huge thank you to our 4 All-Stars.
Good. Felt there, if anything.
They had a decent competition. They finished 2
Line's
and 2.
great. Not curled yet. Just on the T-line. Line's great.
And big thank
On
you
the
to
back
them
if you
for
need it. Straight if you need
Straight
it.
if you need it.
agreeing to play at rather short notice.
Clean.
Easy throw for Ross Whyte, but they'll be a little bit annoyed that they didn't have an opportunity to score 2 in that end. And conversely, Cameron Bryce's team will be very happy that they limited Whyte's team, forcing them to score 1. That means in the all-important 6th end, scores are level. It is Cameron Bryce 3, Ross Whyte 3, and it is Bryce who will have last stone. Right gang, sixth ends typically go on forever. They take about as long as the rest of the game put together. And you quite often see one team then really taking advantage after the sixth end, putting themselves in a good position to see the game out from here. Who do you think is going to prevail in the all-Scottish battle? Two very similar teams.
Line's great for my brush.
Just short of it.
Okay, that's fine then. Oh.
Tom's enjoying watching this game. It is an exciting one, yeah, I thought it would be. Both of these teams unbeaten. They both came through the round robin 4-4. Bryce overcoming the Norwegian representatives, Magnus Ramsfjell, in the quarter-final, and Whyte overcoming the Swiss champions, Schwaller, in their quarter-final. But one of these teams, their competition has to end here. If scores are tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra. Whyte starting the sixth end with the aggressive call. The guard out front there, he wants to force the issue.
Top 12, top 8.
He doesn't want to let Cameron and Bryce control the tactics here in the sixth end by putting up that guard first of all.
Line's great. Top 8.
Trying to force stones into play.
Yep, line's really curling. Hard, looks like you need to go.
And betting that they can really restrict Bryce's team by taking control of the centre. I think either way, Scottish curling should be delighted with their performance here. 4 Scottish teams started the competition. 4 Scottish teams made the quarterfinals. 3 Scottish teams are in the semi-finals. We will guaranteed have 1 Scottish team in the final. And none of them are Bruce Mowat. It's a tricky one, because if you're from a very strong country like Scotland or Switzerland, as you can see, you can really be one of the best teams in Europe, but you can't get out of Scotland. We're so used to seeing Mowat's team from Scotland and Schwaller's team from Switzerland, but we've seen a whole heap of teams who would also be fine representatives for both of those countries, but it is really difficult to win your way out of Scotland or out of Switzerland. Whereas if you're from a smaller country, maybe a bit less experienced, your path to a European is probably more straightforward, but you don't have these teams pushing your quality that bit higher. Well, now, with that throw from Ewan Kyle, landing a little bit shorter than they wanted it, Cameron Bryce, he really is going all out aggressive in the sixth end, now throwing up a corner guard.
I thought close.
Oh, and in the background there, on sheet 3,
top 8, yep.
James Craik's team, they really had to go for broke in that fifth end. It was really do or die. They were 4 points behind, and they were really taking risks, as they had to. So a brave effort from James Craik's team.
Well, I didn't sweep it, we were tight anyway.
Definitely the underdogs in that game. Craik came through the round robin 3-1, and up against the unbeaten Italians, who of course, I don't think they've ever missed out on being in the quarterfinal, at least here. So a brave effort from James Craik's team, but they gave up a steal of 4 in that fifth end, and there is no coming back from that. So it's a resounding win for Retornaz's team. They are the first team to book their place in the final. The Italians march
Yeah,
on.
you can.
They defeat James Craik's battling team. It's 8-0 this morning. But big congratulations to James Craik's team. They missed out on quarterfinals last year and all the way to the semi-final this year, so congratulations to them. But we will be getting to watch Retornaz's team in the final. And as a well-known Retornaz fan, I'm very happy for that.
Nose.
And I'm sure Retornaz, they will all be giggling up their sleeves, because I can easily imagine our featured game here. Such a battle of attrition out there. I can easily imagine this going even to an extra end, whereas the Italians,
Girl.
well, they're even too early for lunch at the moment.
Ready.
Alberto in the
Good
chat
brother.
celebrating Italian victory and lunch by the look of it. Very wise. But yeah, let's see how important that could be. Whoever triumphs in this Scottish semi-final, they will have had a much harder path to the final. And will that be maybe a bit of an advantage to Retornaz? They've had a shorter game out there. And not such a tough game. And I wonder if that could be a deciding factor when we get to the final. The final is at 1:30 European.
Thick half. Even 2/3 is okay to connect close to it. In.
For all four teams out there this morning, this is their 6th game of the weekend. And this is their normality, but that doesn't make it easy.
No. Girl.
Rob Bryden going
Yep,
for
straight.
the big across the house double.
Hard.
He's not far away. Let's find a good spot. There, that's a good angle. Not so easy to get to that yellow now. So I think he may well have done enough to neutralise both reds.
Sweep it. Got the top side of it.
That's still the right call though. Bryce, eager to keep the game away from the centre line. He's going to throw another red towards the wings, and that will force Ross Whyte to do something about it, keeping Ross Whyte away from the centre. A quick shout of curl though. No, now they're sweeping more straight. So they didn't find the right line on that.
Can I wait? Dead.
And Duncan Mingus, he hasn't really missed very much. But I wonder if just not quite finding the line on that shot, I wonder if that might cost them in the 6th end. They were working hard to set up for 2. Let's see. Second throw for Robin Bryden.
Clean.
Did a lovely job of neutralising both reds with his first throw.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Curl. Hard. Roll. Hard.
Super throw from him.
Good shot, Smith.
A fairly unflappable Cameron Bryce. He always seems to know what to do. If he does get nervous or not sure, I don't think I've ever seen it. And just that nice kind of hack weight, enough to bump the yellow through. And I think the angle's there that you could get a nice roll over towards the wing again. Big shot for Duncan Mingus here then. He does get the yellow. Ooh, and he does get a lovely angle as well. Well done, Duncan Mingus.
Yeah, we just have to make sure we make the roll. Even if we roll.
Yeah, big goals, Steve. Intern?
Intern barrier?
Yeah.
Scores are tied in the 6th end of our featured semi-final at Baden Masters. It's an all-Scottish affair.
Barrier.
4
Yeah,
Scottish teams started, 4 Scottish teams made the quarters, 3 Scottish teams made the semis, 2 are still left in the competition, and scores are level. It could not be any tighter. We are at skip stones in the 6th end. First throw for Ross Whyte.
Carl, Carl.
Carl! Carl! Hi, Carl! Hi, Carl! Keep going! Keep going!
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Neutralising the immediate danger then, Ross Whyte. Just over rolling. It's really difficult to get a roll perfectly. But that yellow's just popping back out the other side of the centre guard now.
No, miles better than leave it the other side. No problems to me.
3 stones to come. 2 for Cameron and Bryce. 1 more for Ross
I was
Whyte.
just shouting, really trying
Bryce
to
would love to try to get
I wasn't fussed.
a big 2 on the board here in the 6th end. But with only 2 ends to come after this, even if Bryce simply picks up 1, if he can force Ross Whyte to take 1 point in the 7th end, it would be advantage Bryce in the 8th. And I'm sure both Cammy Bryce and Ross Whyte, both of them will know that. Guaranteed a Scottish finalist, but which one will it be? We already have an Italian finalist, Joel Retornaz's team overcoming James Craik's team in the other semi-final. They'll be happy to have a bit of an early finish, get a bit more rest before the final at 1:30 European. We have never had an Italian team or a Scottish team win this championship. Whoever does will make history. That's a handy throw from Cammy Bryce. That red not counting shot at the moment, but nicely hidden in behind the guard. Ross Whyte, only 1 throw to come now.
By the 4. Yeah. I tried not bump down for shot.
I think Ross just wanted to corner freeze that red. Just nudge up to it, force
Just try
Cameron
not
and
bump
Bryce
them in.
to go around the other way.
Give me a touch more. We want to be. Yes. Aye.
Now this needs to be good. Otherwise, a score of 2 for Bryce becomes much more likely.
Touch more then. Okay. Even top 8's fine as long as we're kind of. Well, we've got a tough shot now. Touch my foot.
Final throw of the 6th end for Ross Whyte. Can he neutralise that red
Line's
just
good.
thrown by Bryce?
Okay,
Okay, good to
line's
go.
straight. High bend.
Love
leading
that room.
arm. Whoa. Whoa.
We're out there. We're out there.
Whoa.
We're really out there.
Needs to curl.
Curl then.
Here's the curl.
Whoa.
Oh, is it going to get there? That's got a
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
huge way to go.
Whoa.
But a huge curl is out there, and yeah, I think that's found a nice spot.
Just didn't get you quite enough out of the hand.
Cammy Bryce, though, wasting no time. From where the brush is, it looks like he's throwing maybe sort of backline or hack weight, trying to push his own red onto that yellow. Really going all out to try to score 2 here, which really would put them in a great position for the game. Final throw of the 6th end now from Cameron Bryce. Call of clean's always nice. Oh, this looks like a peach. This is an absolute beauty. What a throw from Cameron Bryce. I tell you, that man has been doing this all weekend. And a very well worked 2 for Bryce's team. I think it's advantage Bryce. We have played 6 ends here in our featured semi-final at Baden Masters 23. A very important score of 2 in the 6th end. And it is Cameron Bryce leading Ross Whyte, both of Scotland, 5 points to 3.
You want to throw corner or you want to come around there?
I don't from round. No, we need to at least try and fit it together.
We have 2 ends left in regulation time. If scores are tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra. Joel Retornaz's team would love that. The more energy their opposition for the final uses to get through their semi-final, the happier the Italians will surely be. So surely advantage Bryce with that big score of 2 in the 6th end. They just hold their nerve here from Bryce. They are surely in a good position overall for the game.
Not against hitting it.
Yeah. Roll wide.
Yeah.
Really corner.
Barrier.
That a good throw from Robin McCall.
Fire.
Clean.
Weight's good.
Whoa.
Bryce doesn't want any guards out front. That just
Clean.
helps his
Yep.
opposition.
Yep.
Yep. Gotta go.
It's Ross Whyte that needs to build, that needs to
Good job.
bring the game to Bryce now.
10-5.
But I think we may be able to see the idea here. Bryce doing the right thing, going straight into the house. He doesn't want guards out front. He doesn't want to give any opportunity to Whyte to build anything. It's up to Whyte to put out guards if he wants, but looks like Whyte may have already decided. Okay. 7th end. What if we just exchange hit for hit for hit? Take the blank and go all out aggressive with last stone in the 8th end. It's a legitimate idea. Whyte feeling that having that last stone,
Whoa. Clean. Whoa.
they would need 3 points to win the game,
Clean.
2 to take it to an extra end. But Whyte feeling that
Whoa.
that's the better strategy than maybe trying to score 2 points here and giving up last stone. Bryce leaving that decision to Whyte by throwing the first stone into the house.
watched the ice, by the way. I got a fair bit of dirt.
With first shot in the house,
I'm just cleaning
Ross Whyte could choose to go down this path, so exchanging hits, aiming to blank the end, or he could have put out corner guards, really tried to go for a 2 or even a 3. The only other shot Cameron Bryce
Control.
could have
Whoa.
considered
Clean.
would be a centre guard, but that would be pointlessly
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
aggressive, to be honest.
Carl. You're good, you're good, you're fine, you're fine. You're done. Done.
You might want to go and get yourself a cup of tea or a coffee, viewer. I don't think very much else is going to happen in this end. I think everyone realising what's going on here, setting us up for a grandstand finish in the 8th end. And this will be interesting. If there's somehow a miss from Bryce's team, I wonder, would
Carl.
Ross Whyte take the opportunity to grab an easy 2 points?
Carl, hard. Hard, okay.
Or would he stick to his original strategy and make sure of the blank? We've all seen that famous Canadian decision where they decided to remove their own stone with their last throw, take the blank and keep last stone, rather than taking the easy 2 points but not having last stone, and they lost the game. So maybe that's not such a great idea.
Nice roll, Dan.
At this level, I think it's fair enough to say, yep, we are confident that we can limit our opposition to fewer than 3 points. From Bryce's perspective, if this does go to, or rather if this 7th end is still a blank, it's still a big ask for Ross Whyte to get 3 in the 8th end, or at least 2 to take it to an extra end. And it would be Bryce with the last stone in an extra end.
Carl, whoa, whoa, clean, straight. Yep, hard.
So that was always rather a puzzling decision for me, that
Very nice.
that famous shot in Canada where they refused to take 2 points. Dolto in the chat, he's celebrating the Italian victory over on sheet 3 in the other semi-final. The Italians already booked their place in the final, already off waiting for lunch to open. The Italians will be delighted that whichever Scottish team is their opposition is using up all their energy over here. The final will be the 7th game for both teams.
Same way. Yeah.
And like we said yesterday, it's hard to string 7 good games back to back. And that's why it's hard to win these competitions. Never had a Scottish winner of this competition. Never had an Italian winner of this competition.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Clean.
We will be making history. We're at skip stones in the 7th end. Nothing fancy coming, I wouldn't say. You might want to go boil the kettle, make yourself a nice cup of tea for our finale in the 8th end. How important is that big score of 2 going to be in the 6th end? It's quite a difference, you know. Ross Whyte's team down by 2. If they were only down by 1, then picking up a 2 in the 8th end to win the game, yeah, that seems pretty likely. very possible. Picking up 3, that is quite a different perspective, or prospect rather. As we said, your sort of default situation, if you have last stone, the default is picking up 1 point with your 1 last stone. If you want to pick up 2 points, you need at least 1 mistake from your opposition. If you want to pick up 3 points, you need at least 2 mistakes from your opposition. And we haven't really seen that many mistakes from Team Bryce. But nevertheless, a perfectly valid decision from Whyte's team to say, we still feel like we have a better chance of scoring 3 with last stone.
Yep. Oh.
Rather than trying to steal an 8th end without last stone.
We're right in between, right in the nose. Literally, right in the nose, the whole way.
Now, what was Ross Whyte doing there, hitting that stone that was not even in the house and behind tee? The reason he was doing that, as we said, he doesn't really want to score here, Ross Whyte. He wants to have last stone in the 8th end. And if he had left that red stone there, he may have found Cammy Bryce going up for the freeze, exactly as he's now going to try to do. Because if Cameron and Bryce could ever steal a point here, that would be all but a game over. And even if he can force Ross Whyte to a point, he's very happy with that as well. So nothing to lose here, Cammy Bryce. He may as well try to force Ross Whyte into a trickier shot. But I think this one's coming in hot. But yeah, may as well force Ross Whyte to hit it. You never know. They didn't quite find the line a little bit further out on this handle. Maybe Ross Whyte will accidentally hit this stone on the nose, accidentally score 1 point. That would be something of a disaster for him. The club room filling up now. Folks coming in to watch the finale of the semi-finals. Here's the finale of the 7th end. Big weight from Ross Whyte. He does not want this yellow hanging around. He's got it this time. A blank end then for Ross Whyte in the 7th end of our all-Scottish semi-final at Baden Masters 23. As you were, people. Score remains Cameron Bryce 5, Ross Whyte 3, going into the 8th, and will it be the final end? All smiles on Bryce's side. You don't very often see Ross Whyte's team smiling during a game. They're always very concentrated, very focused. Right, deep breath, people. Tom asks, what's the most exciting game I've ever commented on? Oh gosh, what a good question. Let me think about it and I'll get back to you, Tom. Objectives clear for this 8th end. Cameron Bryce's team are 2 points up. They do not need to score here. They simply need to make sure that Ross Whyte is not scoring, and that's why Robin McCall's first throw has gone into the rings there. If Ross Whyte wants to score even 1 point, then at some point he will have to do something about that red.
Line's great. Just short of it. Okay. Curl if you can. Okay. That's good. Curl. Good shot. Just keep it brushed down by the way.
No surprises yet. We shall see a very classic setup for this final end. Bryce, he wants to play the whole end in the house. Don't give Whyte anything to hide behind.
Just saying when we're sweeping you and keep a brush down, like, Bryce is getting pretty dirty.
Ross Whyte wants to do the reverse. That's why he's thrown up that corner guard. Tactically, I doubt we will see any sort of mistake from here. The Scottish team's all very strong tactically. And indeed, we see Ross Whyte making full use of 5 rock free guard zone, asking for a second corner guard from you and Kyle.
Line's good. Third dot. Hair hides now. It's good. You need to go a wee bit. Carl.
What Ross Whyte needs to keep an eye on, he will start this end. Well, the perfect start, actually. 100% for Robin McCall and for you and Kyle.
Nice.
Perfect throws from both of them. What Ross Whyte needs to keep eyes on is he would love to pick up 3 points and win the game right now in this 8th end. He needs to make sure, though, they need to be able to score at least 2 just to keep the game going to an extra end. So he doesn't want to go so hard for 3 that he loses an opportunity to make sure they get 2. He has to keep that balance. Oh. Looks like the active cam could be up and running very soon. We shall certainly have it for the final. That's played at 1:30 European. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect stones. Now what?
Hack. I don't think you're going to kill one just because they're going to come into this, but that's okay.
Bryce is really good for that.
Yep, yep. Hard. Whoa. Clean, yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. Roll, roll, roll. Hard, hard, hard. Alright, boy. Really good. Shot.
That is a really good throw from Duncan McFadden.
Shot, Dunk.
Well, the only stones that can hurt Cameron and Bryce are these corner guards. He immediately asking Luke Carson to start getting rid. You can see this is all about execution now. Tactically fairly straightforward. All about the execution.
Flop under this year.
This one, this side.
Yeah, just go. No, I don't like
seeing that over being right on nose. You want to make the roll? Just here then.
Okay.
That just now.
Where is that?
That's like half an 8 foot.
Okay.
I think we will see that other corner guard going with Bryce's next throw. So Ross Whyte wanting to make sure that he gets at least one throw behind it.
Top 8.
You can see the concentration etched on Ross Whyte's face.
Yep. Line's good.
Cameron Bryce always just has a fairly easygoing air about him.
Weight's good.
Carl then. Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shot.
Cameron and Bryce then
Just a side pull here.
continuing to hoover up yellows.
Probably just your throw compared to his, more than anything else. You almost probably just hair more through it. Find a really good spot.
Yeah, hit and roll towards the centre and even over the centre here. Towards the centre's fine. You might get hidden in behind the centre guard. All the way over to the other side, also fine. First throw in this 8th. Will it be final end for Duncan Mingus? So would have wanted more of a roll than that, but it is red lying 3 at the moment.
3/4 low. Yeah.
Ross Whyte's plan is going to have to start executing pretty soon. Now time to start removing reds and get some yellows hanging around.
Close. Yep.
Close.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Carl.
In the nose, man.
Okay.
Oh, that's not quite what they wanted. You can see that red jamming straight back onto the other red. And important after that throw was to remove 2 of those reds. Now that's not easy. I'm certainly not trying to pick on Robin Bryden. Yeah, to get 3 from Cameron Bryce's team. I don't think anyone's done that all weekend. I don't think anyone's even been close to it. It's hard, is what I'm saying. And even though we need Robin Bryden to, you know, maybe make that raised double, that doesn't make it an easy shot. Yeah, now we're at the crux of the matter. We have 6 stones left, 3 for each team. Ross Whyte throwing yellow has final throw. He needs 3 to win the game. He needs 2 to force an extra end. And while we're having a bit of a powwow, I've had a think about your question, Tom. What's the most exciting game I've ever commented on? Probably something involving Jan Hess would be my answer there. Jan Hess not playing this year. Did play in my favourite Eve Stalkers team. And Jan Hess was just forever pulling rabbits out of hats. You and I would be wondering when the next train home is, and that's not what he was thinking. And he would just draw the pin or make a thread the needle and make a fancy double, that sort of thing. Always fun watching them. Yeah, important decision here for Cameron Bryce. Red's line 2. But a couple of yellows hanging around. 6 stones left to come, 3 each. Bryce's team will be saying, okay, if we throw this, we expect Whyte to do that, then we do this, and so on, right through to the final throw. Doing everything they can to minimise the chance of Whyte being able to score 3. A 2's not terrible for Bryce. That would level the score, but it would be Bryce with last stone in an extra end. So after all that discussion, fairly straightforward peel from Duncan Mingus.
Yeah. You like that? Yeah.
Clock approves of that idea. Just get rid of the yellows. Indeed, no yellows is no points.
More rotation.
And Ross Whyte
it's only
not quite running out of yellows.
It's just really tricky. I don't think I can get under. You'd have probably about 3/4 of it. Yeah.
But Ross Whyte needing 3 out of 3 peachy stones from this point.
That's the same ice as dunk with a bit more rotation. I think the same ice as dunk's good. Yeah.
I just need a hair.
If you're just tuning in for the conclusion of our featured semi-final here at Baden Masters, one finalist is already clear, Joe Retornaz's all-conquering Italians. They had a really strong performance against James Craik's team from Scotland. Retornaz is already waiting for the winner of this game in the final.
Close, 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 yep, yep. Whoa. Whoa! Whoa! Well then. Carve. Carve it. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Final throw of the 8th end for Robin Bryden. And that's a nice throw. That yellow with the red behind it. Not so easy to move that yellow now. So one of the yellows is behind cover. Not counting yet, but that yellow in the 12 foot, that's behind cover. The yellow just thrown by Robin Bryden. It's found a nice spot, but I think Cameron Bryce probably saying to himself, I don't mind if I just make the double take out here. As Clock says in the chat, just make sure we get rid of that yellow. Don't really care if we get rid of the red as well. We're at Skipstones in a tense semi-final out here in Baden. Cleans a nice sound. He does get rid of the yellow, keeps his own red. That does give Ross Whyte something to roll up against. But Ross Whyte very much now running out of yellows. He has only 2 yellows to come if he wants to win the game at this point. He needs both of them and that yellow in the 12 foot to be hanging around at the conclusion of this end.
Sorry? Yeah.
And I fancy, we see
Wonder if you
everyone from Team Whyte
there and hope that I might have
coming up for
or
discussion.
He might overcurl or undercurl.
I think this is our shot going have a chance at 2.
Tough chance.
But there, I think he's just drawing. Well, he has to make it, doesn't he? Unless you play this, just try and get in here and hope he catches the guard or misses, and then we've always got this if he makes the freeze.
Three stones to come, 2 for Ross Whyte, 1 for Cameron Bryce.
I just think I've got more for that. If I'm too thick, I can't get to this. Like right now, this only way I've got to play this hack.
What's your gut?
I think he'll make the chase. That's the only
I
issue.
think I'm either seeing the freeze or this.
Don't take too long, boys. Don't
My
lose your
only issue
rhythm.
with this is I've got a long way to push that. I might even touch that.
I think you are. I think this goes for done. Like, I think this is gone. If you're actually really good, it might be close to getting back inside this.
Aye, but you don't want to touch that because it'll not go by this. Okay.
Like this double?
Thick half?
Yeah. Half stone's fine.
This is a gutsy call.
I'm
Ross
fine.
Whyte
Yeah.
going for the double takeout on those 2
Let's
reds.
just try and nose that red and
And you can
What,
see
goes this?
yeah, just nose it and say make the roll.
yeah, they're not sure. You can see if he makes that double, going from the wide red first, coming in towards that red in the 8 foot, you can see that the yellow would land plumb behind the other 2, and that would be an absolute cracker, but
not bouncing that hard.
not a straightforward shot. And now they're wondering, what if we just
I know, mate, but it's still
play the other way
thick half.
and go from the centre
way
towards the red in the 8
I
foot
just don't know
instead?
if I can throw it hard enough to get that across.
Like that then or the freeze?
Wowzers,
wouldn't
when
mind
Ross
lying
Whyte says he
second
can't throw it hard
third.
enough,
Or
that
first.
must be quite a big shot.
Yeah. Just think if I can get to nose, like, you never know. If it ever runs, then you make the roll under.
Yeah, get on with it now, boys. You spent a long time chatting
I
here.
just don't know what freeze gets us. I think he just puts another one in the ring. Gets us 2.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we can bring this into play then.
And now it depends a little bit how Ross Whyte feels about an
You'd
extra
have-
end
you'd have
without
almost
last
both
stone.
Just need to get it back here.
Yeah. If we never really good cover piece, but even if we're there, he goes. Okay, it's just them come to chase this way is harder than round the centre. Yeah, this beats that.
I think we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's close.
Let's make it.
Give me a hair, and I'm just going to throw it a touch lighter.
After all that discussion then, they are going inside out. Ross Whyte feeling he can't throw it hard enough for the double to come off
Keep it over on that left-hand
that
side.
red. Biting the 12 foot on the right of our screen to spin over and punch the red in the 8 foot out. It is quite a flat double, and that would need quite a bit of gas behind it. That was probably the way to try to get 3 points, but this may be the wise decision to say, okay, to try to make that really hard shot for 3. Could potentially lose the game at that shot, whereas with this shot,
Really
it's a bit safer.
Hard. Hard, good. Straight. Whoa.
He does punch that red through.
You call him.
Whew. Right, after all that discussion, we have 2 stones to come. 1 more from Cameron Bryce, 1 more from Ross Whyte.
It was just a touch aggressive. I slid good. Okay.
If Bryce can hit and stick this,
Good call.
he may be able to just about see the finish line from there. If Bryce misses this throw, opportunity for 3 for Ross Whyte. He still has his 2 yellows in play. Last throw of the 8th end for Cameron Bryce. This team has been just quietly kicking everyone out of the competition. Cleans a nice sound. He's nowhere near that centre guard. That was really the only danger. And that's a wonderful shot from Cameron Bryce.
Yeah.
There is no chance of 3. Bryce's worst result from this stage is Ross Whyte sticking this double and going to an extra end. Shall we have bonus curling this Sunday morning? Here in the virtual club, we like that. The Italians waiting in the final. They would love that if their opposition has to play an extra end to get there. So good luck, Ross Whyte. Final throw of the 8th end.
Whoa. Clean.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
No. Yep. Whoa.
Yes, no sweeping.
Oh,
Sounds
clean.
good. He certainly has got it. And this semi-final not over yet.
This way on back.
Super shot from Ross Whyte. That was not a gimme. Super work from Cameron Bryce's team to deny Ross Whyte the opportunity to win the game at the 8th end. We are going to an extra end. We do have bonus curling, particularly popular with Team Italy. So, settle yourselves, guys. It's a 1-end shootout. How important will the no-tick rule be now? It's Bryce who has last throw in this extra end. Thrilling 8th end. Everybody get their breath back. And we could do with getting Ross Whyte back. Here he comes.
Yep.
Superb throw from him.
Down here.
That was not an easy double. It was fairly flat. He had to throw it with quite some beans on it to make sure he punched the second red out. So deep breath. Ewan Kyle can make a big difference to his team here.
Okay, line's good. Try not kill if you can.
If Ewan Kyle
Whoa.
can get his stone touching that centre line, you are not allowed to tick.
Curl if you can.
Curl. Just curl.
Looks
Hard,
pretty
really
good
gotta
from
go.
here.
Hard. Nice shot.
Great shot from Ewan Kyle. Perfect.
Shoot them.
That's a really difficult shot, guys. You can see it's just over the hog line, and it's hard to throw a stone with just enough weight to get it over the hog line, and nevertheless get it over the hog line. And one more thing, can you make sure it splits the centre line? So super throw there from Ewan Kyle. Cameron Bryce asking Robin McCall to simply go straight to the centre first. He makes the centre, goes a little bit past. We will see Ross Whyte though ignore that initial throw and ask for a double guard. That is Ross Whyte's best chance
Tight.
to get a
line's
mistake
good.
from Cameron Bryce finally,
Third spot.
is if he
Third
has
spot.
a double guard out
Line's
front.
great. Dunk's in.
Just past it.
What's the goal for tight? Okay, curl then.
I think we are tight, Dunk. We're tight.
You gotta hit the line, Dunk. That's the main thing.
You've got to hit the line, he says. Oh, it just grabs a piece of the line at the end. But is that inside the house though? I'm at the other end, but yeah, that stone's just slipped into the rings, in fact. And could that be a turning point? Bryce having an early chance to remove something on the centre line. The no-tick rule, or not being allowed to move a stone from the centre line, only applies in free guard zone. Pure concentration from Robin McCall. Duncan Mingus hard on the sweep there to try to grab that curl. Has he got enough of that yellow? Yes, he has. Bryce will not be at all concerned about that yellow still hanging around that 12 foot. This is a one-end shootout. He only needs 1 point to win. Important was that yellow is now nowhere near the centre line.
Halfway tight. Okay, tight's
Robin
great.
McCall,
Tight.
you have earned your lunch.
Wide right now.
Stay close.
Tight.
Just you
Curl
go
if
for
you
tight.
can. Curl if you can. Hard curl. Keep curling. Whoa. Pretty good.
Good spot, Dunk. Good. If they're in, it's fine.
And now we shall see Bryce's middle order winding up their throwing arm. They simply want to be removing as many yellows as possible. And a screamer coming from Luke Carson.
With the rush down. Said they're still running a good bit. With the rush down
Doesn't
on
pick
that
off the bonus yellow in the 12 foot.
Good
But
one.
I do not think that will be very important later. The main reason you don't want things hanging around in the 12 foot or towards
That's
the
a
wings
tiny
is
bit.
just
Go
because
back
it can
again.
take a unfortunate redirect sometimes when you're clearing guards.
Halfway tight. Carve. Keep carving then. Keep carving then. Keep carving then.
Quite busy here in the club room. We still have quite a few of our international guests here on the Sunday. And as mentioned, there's lunch available for the competitors. And these boys do love eating. Now Luke Carson could do his team a huge favour here. If he can get both these yellows moving, then Ross Whyte's life becomes immediately a lot more difficult. So another huge throw from Carson. A picture of concentration. Has he got them both? Oh, millimetres away from it.
There you go, one more.
Brave try from him.
Even a long two's fine.
Yeah, really these shots are not easy. I know that these top teams, they can get, say, a bit frustrated when they don't make a double peel on the guards and roll out themselves. But really not a straightforward shot.
Easy, easy. Easy in.
Line's great.
Line's good.
Line's great. Over and up.
Over and up.
Over and up, says Ross Whyte. He wants the maximum distance between the two yellows to try to avoid the double peel on those two stones out front. That's nice there from Robin Bryden. You can see that yellow stone much closer to the hog line, a much bigger distance between the two. Same drill. Duncan Mingus being asked to go for the front one. He's got a big smile on his face. Good to see that. Feeling comfortable with his shot. Huge drive out from him. Safely removes the front guard. We will see this at least once more, and then at some point, Cameron Bryce, I think we will probably see him switch it up. And maybe think of doing something with the red in the house already. Remember, if Ross Whyte wants to steal this end without last stone, at some point Ross Whyte has to do something about the red already in the house.
Carl.
No, line's good.
Carl.
And we may see Cameron Bryce decide to get there first. For the moment. That's another lovely throw from Robin Bryden. I think almost exactly where he put it last time. And Duncan Mingus being asked for exactly the same as he did last time. Another mighty throw from Duncan. Making sure that he peels that guard, rolls out himself. Yeah, and exactly. At some point, Ross Whyte has to do something about that red.
Off the face slightly.
No advantage to throwing up another guard now. Cameron Bryce would simply remove it again. And then Ross Whyte would have only one crack at this and leave Cameron Bryce a fairly makeable shot. Now then, the right time to switch this up a bit.
It's just the same as what it has been all game.
Yeah,
Whyte going for the freeze.
That's slightly slower than what it's been.
Place in the final is at stake here. We are at skip stones in the All-Scottish semi-final. New territory for both of these teams would be the final. And we've never had a Scottish champion. Or an Italian one.
Line's good.
Okay, line's good.
Clean.
Close.
Yep.
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 Hard.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Room.
Hard.
Okay,
Get
line's
there.
good. Line's good. Just getting here.
Hard. Line's
Such
great.
a predictable
Okay.
curl at the end. It really grabs. So that's popped up a little bit short. They were hesitant to sweep it because it did need to grab the curl.
It's probably never there.
Now what? Cameron Bryce has 2 stones to come. Whyte just the 1. Yeah, what about going for the double takeout on those 2 yellows near the centre line? And then Whyte has to make a perfect freeze and would still need a bit of a miss from Bryce finally. Oh, I think lunch has just opened next door. So the Italians, they've been waiting to go and get lunch. They've been off their game for a while. They'll be delighted to see their opposition, whoever it is, having to use a lot of energy to get to that final.
Just to make it go top button, not on field.
What do you think, viewer? What would you like to see from this situation? Yeah, I don't think we need the double, actually. I think potentially simply playing on that stone just thrown by Whyte might be good. Important decision here. Whyte has 1 final throw in this extra end. Cameron Bryce has 2. The issue with doing something with the stone Whyte just threw is that you would simply leave him the opportunity to do it better next time. And looks like we're all aligned that, yeah, let's go for the double. Indeed, that would leave a freeze for Whyte, but there would be nothing out front in the way for Cameron Bryce. Very steady on the takeout, Cammy. And he's going to get the roll away himself. That's a super shot for Cameron Bryce. He does pick out his own red, but he won't mind too much about that. That red was behind tee. It would have been a stone for Whyte to freeze against. Super throw from Cameron Whyte. That's not right. Cameron Bryce.
Kind of maybe makes it easier.
I think your first spot to you.
Half in the forfeit, not too far. I'd rather be full 8 than full 4.
We always thought this semi-final would go to the wire. These two teams so similar.
I think the top 4 is great. Half in the forfeit.
These two teams know each other's game forward and back.
I think if it's a slightly different line, but if I give you the same throw, I think you're going to be pretty close. Even if you're fully 8, I don't think he's winning the hit, so he's not going to have an easy draw pass.
Look at that score. 5 points each after 8 ends. One more stone each in this extra end. It cannot get tighter than this. Final throw of the semi-final for Ross Whyte.
Okay, line's good.
Line's good to go.
Just touching the forfeit. Line's great. Running the same.
Line's still good.
Running the hair.
Not curled yet. Carve if you have to. Okay, just get it here. Just get it here. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And that's
good.
Yep, I don't think he could have done much better with that, Ross Whyte. He realises that he needs a miss from Cammy Bryce. And Cammy Bryce doesn't hesitate.
What's that, boys?
That's what he's there for, is to draw the forefoot for the game. Last throw of the semi-final for Cameron Bryce. He needs the forefoot. The sweepers are on it quickly, but don't seem to be panicking. Just making sure. You can see them constantly looking up. Needs to grab that curl. And what a shot from Cameron Bryce. What a game from Ross Whyte's team and Cammy Bryce's team. We thought it would go all the way to the end. It absolutely did. Wonderful entertainment. Thank you to both teams. Yeah, you can see how much that means to them. Bryce's team continue their imperious form. Ross Whyte's team, they are going to have to wait another year to get to the final and maybe win this competition, but it will be Cameron Bryce's team we see in the final versus Joel Retornaz's legendary Italians. I think that will be a very tasty one. That will be at 1:30 in just under a couple of hours here, 1:30 European time. Bryce never looks phased. He always looks very comfortable and confident. So do the Italians. I think we shall have a super final here. We will have a new champion. It will either be an Italian team or a Scottish team. We have never had a champion from either. So do join us in a couple of hours for the final here at Baden Masters 23. Thank you for all of our quizzers again at half-time. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.
Aargau Topsport und Tele1 präsentieren die 23. Ausgabe vom Baden Masters vom 17. bis zum 20. August. Zum Saisonauftakt treffen die Baden die besten Schweizer Girler auf die Weltelite. 20 Weltklasse-Teams, Nervenkitzel pur, der Kampf um jeden Millimeter, grosse Emotionen, einfach Girling-Weltklasse. Direkt vor der Haustür und am Freitag, 18. August auf Tele1. Das Baden Masters wird präsentiert von Swisslos Sport von Aargau, V-Zug, einem Schweizer Haushaltsgerätehersteller, und Schop mit ihren Profis für Gartenbau, Spenglerei und Flachdach.